Hello everyone, today I'm in Roslin Chapel and I'm going to have a little walk around Roslin Chapel and Roslin Castle and show you some of the sights and tell you some of the history about the St Clair family and Roslin Chapel and Castle themselves. So just behind me, I'm going the wrong way, if you look just over the wall there, let's put the tripod right up. That is the wonderful Roslin Chapel, built in 1446 up to 1484. And I'm going to go around the other side of the building and give you a better view. And as we go around, we'll have a quick look at the old Roslin Inn. This is the old Roslin Hill. It's now called College Hill House. This was built in 1660. I know that because there's a date stamp above the door. And when it was an inn, it was visited by the likes of Robert Burns, Sir Walter Scott, Wordsworth and his wife Dorothy, and Alexander Naismith, and James Boswell, the writer, Dr. Samuel Johnson too. So I'm going to go a little walk down here, and I'm going to go straight away. I'm going to go up to the left, and that takes us round the back of Roslin Chapel, up these little steps. So as we come round the back of that little pathway, we're met by this absolutely spectacular building. And this here is Roslin Chapel. And if you look at the fence, you see the cross of the St Clairs. And I'll just put the GoPro through the fence to get an unspoiled view. And this is Roslin Chapel in itself. Isn't that absolutely breathtaking? Now you see the little hedgerows dotted about the place. These are graves for the St Clair family, and just over there, I'll just come back out again, you will actually see there's like a family memorial over there. Beautiful. Isn't that a sight to behold? 1446 to 1484 that was built, and when Sir William Sinclair died in 1484, his son Oliver said, right, enough's enough. Spent 40 years just to build this small little church here, but you'll see why it took 40 years if you ever visit here. The inside is remarkable. The stone masonry is like you've never seen in your life. The attention to detail is unbelievable. It also featured in the Da Vinci Code as well, so quite an amazing building. So it was kind of left unfinished, and this at the far end of the building here, facing west I would say, you'll see that they added a baptistry. That was in the late 1800s, and you can see it's a different colour of sandstone. It's a sort of a more sort of greyish blonde, and that's a sort of more a sort of reddish tinge to it. So that little bit of extension on the left there is 1880s I think, but don't quote me on that. And the red stuff on the right hand side is 1440s up to 1480. Isn't that breathtaking? What I'm going to do is going to go through the little path here. I'm going to take you down and show you the crypt. So here we have the crypt. And this is, if you actually go into Roslin Chapel, there's a little flight of stairs that go down, and this actually appeared in the Da Vinci Code. And Tom Hanks and the lady, who I can't remember her name, walk down the stairs, and there's a group of people waiting for her because they realise that she's the chosen one. So this is the crypt, and you can just see the rest of the building up there. And if you look at old pictures of Roslin, you can see that this bit juts out. It's quite obvious really. And I've just go up the back there, you can see the back of the cafeteria, or the bistro as they like to call it. And there we have it there, Roslin Chapel. Now the reason that Sir William Sinclair made it so extravagant, I'm looking out over the Glen at the moment. This is Roslin Glen, where I've already taken you recently, but the reason he made it so extravagant was in those days it was like a passport to heaven. the more extravagant a church you made, the more a better a chance you had getting into heaven. Now, straight in front of me, like through those trees, there's a square ditch. Well, it's an elevated ramp, and this where General Monk attacked Roslin Chapel in 1650. And I'm going to go there shortly, but first of all, I'm going to go over to the castle. Wait till you see this. So we're going to head down the hill through the cemeteries and take you to Roslin Castle. Now, this predates the chapel by about 140 years. So, fascinating place, absolutely fascinating. So, here we go. So we're going to go back up this way. So I'm just heading down this little path here from the side of the old Roslin Inn, and we'll come to these little gates here on the left hand side. Now, this is gates to the to both cemeteries, and we're going to go left here, and that takes us down to Roslin Castle. And these little graveyards are beautiful in themselves, and the bottom one, sort of straight down, actually contains the original Roslin Chapel, but there's not much to see. It's just a bit of rubble. It predates, well, it's about the same age as the castle. It's down there, but it's not, it's just like one pillar. So we're going to go down this little path here to the left, and this will take us to Roslin Castle in about maybe 1 to 2 minutes. So when you come to this little gate here, you know you've hit the right bit. This is the entrance to Roslin Castle. Nowadays, it would have been a drawbridge years ago, but it's a road into the actual chapel. Now you can start to see how damaged it is, and if you look down over there, you'll see the entrance. Oh yeah.
Hello.
There we go. Now you can see where it's absolutely obliterated by General Monk in 1650. Now remember, I was telling you about the General Monk's battery. It's right through those trees there, and I will go there once I've done this bit here. So this way here, you can imagine this being a big sort of curtain wall going right across. Absolutely smashed to smithereens by General Monk, who was Oliver Cromwell's kind of right hand man. And you can see the old vaults on the right hand side there. Isn't that spectacular? And then we have this bit here, was built in 1622 by another Sir William Sinclair, a younger one. Just climb this bit here. So the castle was obliterated in 1544 by Henry VIII during the rough wooing, where he wanted his son Edward to marry Mary Queen of Scots, but the Scots weren't having it because they could trust him about as far as he could throw it. But this here is the top floor of the castle, and I'm going to take you down into the Glen, and we'll see the lower quarters. Isn't that spectacular? You can actually rent this, like an Airbnb sort of thing. And there you see above the door, the date stamp above the door, SWS 1622. So that was rebuilt in 1622 by Sir William Sinclair. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. Now you can see the older part there, which obviously wasn't damaged. That dates back much older. I reckon early 1500s, something like that. So there we go. Look at the state of it. So what we're going to do is go down into the Glen and down to that little drawbridge that you saw. But isn't this utterly remarkable? So the Sinclair family have been in Roslin for around about 1,000 years. They came to Britain in 1066 to fight with William the Conqueror, who was his cousin, at the Battle of Hastings. and a few years later he was granted the barony of Roslin by King Malcolm IV for escorting his bride-to-be Margaret from Hungary across to Britain, across to Scotland. So it's been a long time, and so this kind of descended from French nobility, William the Conqueror being his cousin. Fascinating family. So I'm now at the bottom of the hill looking up towards the castle, and this gives you some sort of idea of scale. Now this path is always a nightmare. Thankfully I've got my wellies on. Doesn't stop me falling though. An idiot. Look at this. So you can see, I don't know if that's old, above the archway you can see like holes. I don't know if that's the old mechanism for the portcullis that would have come down there. And then across here you've got this little thing, it looks like a latrine basically, or it could be the midden or something like that. So it's basically just a slot there, and it doesn't really go anywhere. But this is, I'm going to go through this archway and then I'm going to show you the back, or the lower end of the castle. And then we're right on the River North Esk here as well. Now this is the Esk where I showed you my gunpowder videos and the Wallace videos as well. So I'm going to go down there and round to the right 2 weeks ago. Now, wait till you see this. Wait till you see this. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. This is the back and the lower end of Roslin Castle. This is amazing. Built in beautiful red sandstone. Look at it. So imposing. It's incredible. And when I get into the flat bit here, I'll look up and you can see the bit where I was earlier. See the bit with the decent windows up there? Like the top 2 floors are the inhabited sections. God, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm going to go up this little hill here and have a look round the corner. So we're a little bit further up the hill there, just come up that little slope there. And we're into quite a excuse me, quite a spooky bit. Look at that tree. It's like something out of Enid Blyton. It's amazing. Oh my goodness. There's an old doorway there, look. Oh, look at this. Wow. Oh, I'm going to climb that in a second. So look at the old tower there. Oh wow, what's in here? Look at that. Wee lookout hole, or maybe for firing a gun. Let's climb up here. Oh, that's spooky. Oh, look at that, it's a chair on its own. Wish I brought my torch. Wonder how far in that would go. Oh wow. Oh, that's a bit freaky. Oh my goodness. How cool is that? Right, let's get out of here. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you down through the orchard and then down to the side of the Esk, and then I'm going to walk across a bridge and then round, and I'm going to show you a bit where J.M. Turner, Joseph Turner, the painter from the 1800s, he painted a picture of Roslin Castle in 1818. You can't actually see the castle nowadays from there because there's so many trees, but it's still a beautiful spot, and I'm going to have a little picnic there. So I've just found this little bit here. This looks like some sort of like Neolithic dwelling or something. Look, there's a little doorway down there. See, and there's like brickwork there. It's almost like this has been a sort of Iron Age like house or something like this. Look at this little door down here. Look at this. Oh, looks tight for a little chunker like me. Look at this.
They use this for like fishing or something. No, it doesn't really go anywhere. Wow. Oh, look, there's like a hole in the rock over there. I wonder if this is like a bridge or something like that. A bridge across the Esk, like much older than like medieval times, who knows. Wait, there's a hole in that wall one over there as well. That's going right across the river. Fascinating. And these boulders, incidentally, are the boulders that are in Turner's picture, which I'm going to have a look at in a minute. I'm going to head back up there. I'm going to go across this little bridge here, and I'm going to take you along to the bit where Joseph Turner painted Roslin Castle. So guys, I've found the snowdrops here, and if you look down the river here, through that amalgamation of rocks where those guys are, that is where Turner painted. Now, if you face the camera that way, he's kind of used artistic license. He's probably not drawn it to scale, because the castle is sort of through where I'm pointing the camera right now, but I can't see it. I've even got binoculars. But this is the exact spot. The snowdrops mark the spot. But look at that. Look at the waterfall, the river rapids, and the rock formation. And that was just down there, where those, just past those guys. That's where the where I was talking, it looked like an old bridge and a Neolithic camp or something like that. But who knows what it is. Fascinating. Anyway, this is a fabulous spot. I'm going to get my flask out and I'm going to have a sandwich, and then I'm going to head back up to General Monk's battery, and I'm going to show you where he obliterated the front of the Roslin Castle. So I'm just going to sit here for a bit and relax and just watch the world go by. Okay. Actually, before I have some lunch, I'm going to get a wee bit closer. Look at that. Isn't that a bit good? So I've found the perfect wee spot here, look. Found a wee table made of stone, courtesy of Mother Nature. So I'm just enjoying a wee Milky Way and a wee coffee. Ah, spectacular wee place. Cheers everyone. And there's my view. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So guys, I'm back at Roslin Chapel again, and now I'm going to head in the direction of General Monk's battery. Now just before I cut down to the path where Monk's battery is, you can just see in the distance there, you can just see the castle. Now we're going to the bit where he attacked the castle from. Now when you come to here, you'll see a sign for Rosebank Cottage. Don't go in there, it's private property. Take a right here and go down this little path. Now it's not far. Now I can see the castle from here. It's not, it must be about maybe 200, 300 metres roughly. I don't know what the trajectory of a cannon is, but they're following this path. Let's see if we can see it, castle again. Yeah, I can see it. I don't know if the camera can pick it up. Can just see it through the trees there. It's maybe 400 metres away, something like that. So I'm going to keep following the path till I get to the castle. So we need to walk down past these, I think they're fir trees, aren't they? And then we'll just come to a little path off to the right hand side here, and this takes us down to Monk's battery. Yeah, there it's there, I can see it. So the path. Now incidentally, if you follow that path there, that takes you right down through Roslin Glen, right along the River North Esk. But that's for another day. That's a cracking walk down to Mavis Bank House. Now we're going to try not to fall down here, and then we're going to come along here, and then there's a wee raised ditch. Now it's not much to see, I'm going to be honest with you, but the devastation this bit of land caused the St Clairs in 1650 is unbelievable. Now here it's here, you can start to see the ditch, so that would be protected by water, I suppose. So it'd be like a moat all the way around it, and that raised bit of land is the battery. So I'm just going to climb up onto General Monk's battery and see if I can try not to break my neck. So I'm now on the battery. Now it's raised all the way around and totally can't see the castle. But there's 370 years since it happened, so the trees are much more dense. But we're heading in that direction there. No, but as you can see, that would be the protective moat, I suppose, or could have been like barbed wire, or the equivalent of barbed wire in 1650. Protective ditch, shall we say. Isn't that interesting? So folks, hope you enjoyed my video of Roslin Glen and Roslin Chapel, Roslin Castle, General Monk's battery, and the bit where Joseph Turner painted Roslin Castle. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks to those who have already subscribed to my channel. Please subscribe. It makes a lot of difference to me and encourages me to do more. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Much appreciated.